Last year a question was asked, which is, let's see what it is. Public-private partnership phenomenon has been transformed into a type of governance scheme or mechanism. Discuss its capacity to overcome future challenges. Can you understand something? Anything? Conceptual question. Public-private partnership phenomenon has been transformed into a type of governance scheme or mechanism. PPP has been transformed into a governance scheme or mechanism. Discuss how it can overcome future challenges. Means discuss its capacity to overcome future challenges. What are future challenges? God knows. Right. What you will write? We do not know. No. So at least you answer first part. Forget about the second part, isn't it? First part is PPP has been transformed into a type of governance scheme or mechanism. What you will write? Sorry. Yes. What you will write? ये कोई कौन बनेगा करोड़पति तो है नहीं कि यू आर वेटिंग फॉर फोन कॉल. You tell what you will write. Are you able to understand? क्या समझ में आ रहा है? It has been transformed into a type of governance scheme. What?
Just like the other projects of the government or the governance structure, it also requires this institutionalized approach and proper planning and other supports for implementation.
So from arm's length, it has become hands-on.
So it has become service-related.
Yes, sir. From profit motive, it has been changed towards service.
See, PPP, basically you have to write this. See, PPP is an activity, let's say. In beginning it was an activity. PPP is activity. PPP is event. It was a contract. It is an activity. But now activity has become a process. And process has become a governance. The governance is a process of decision making. And PPP has become a process, institutionalized process. That is what we have to relate. So when PPP started, initially, let's say 70s, there was no process of PPP. There was no ecosystem of PPP. But when PPP has evolved, 90s, 2000, then it has become itself a system. So now a country can have PPP system, or we say ecosystem, or we say robust system. The PPP itself has become a system, or a process, or a mechanism. That's why we have been telling you there is a mechanism, PPP, appraisal committee. But it was not in first phase. Basically, I told to minimize the complexity. But if you take our PPP sector, so 90s to 2004, 2004 to 2012, 2012 to 2017, and then 17 to onwards, fourth phase. But why to write 4 phases? So we have just minimized into 2. 90s to 2000, let's say that 14 and 14 onwards, second phase. But if you read details, the first phase was no process. There was no any process. Project came, and on the basis of project you gave the contract. But in second phase you established the process, PPP appraisal committee. Then you go on defining the types, different types of PPP. Then you go on, let's say that adapting a mechanism for that. This, and then you design, let's say, so each sector. So if you today say take PPP in our country, if you take 20 years back, 10 years back, so we did not have what we have. We have for each sector, what is customized PPP sector? For each sector, designed PPP model. But this was not, let's say, before 2014. Let's say if you want to have housing sector, for housing sector we have 8 types of PPP model. Not one type, 8 types of PPP model, only for housing sector. That is called customized model. Means for each sector you will define a specific PPP model rather than you should have one PPP type for all sectors. Gradually there has been high level of diversification of PPP models. Like say TOT and HAM we did not have. Now Niti Aayog has designed it. So when you design different types of PPP, you establish its process, or the way other countries have legal process, policy mechanism, financial mechanism, dispute resolution mechanism. So these all developments give rise to a process, a phenomenon, which can be considered as a governance process, right, or governance mechanism. That is what you have to write in first phase of the first part of the answer. Right. This, then you can relate also to what we are taking hands-on. Gati Shakti, you have national monetization plan, Gati Shakti infrastructure pipeline. So that we have. So then you can write what is hands-on governance. The hands-on governance itself is a governance scheme. Hands-on governance is about in 16 ministry departments of let's say government would come at one platform with a portal setup, and then there will be several committees and several teams will be set up. That team would be taken by one minister or one secretary, and it will have group of members derived from all public, private, academicians, civil society, international experts, national experts, and their main focus would be that how to help in making the projects and projects whatever we have related to railway, how to expedite the implementation of those projects. That is called hands-on. Hands-on means they have been given this level of freedom, autonomy. A team has been given the freedom to take decision related to whatever the task given to that team, so that we can implement the projects more efficiently. Because government has basically, it has done is that it has asked all the departments to identify the number of projects which are not being implemented effectively, or somehow they are stuck. They are stuck in legal tangle, they are stuck in some other, let's say, problems. The government, Prime Minister asked the different departments to identify those projects, and on that basis the decision was taken for hands-on governance, means Gati Shakti. That demanded at least several rounds of talk between Prime Minister and other departments, and then finally Gati Shakti initiative was taken. To read Gati Shakti, one article has been written by also CEO of Niti Aayog. So then you will understand all these things. So Gati Shakti is also a governance process. This, but you don't have to write directly this, rather first you have to explain how PPP from event, activity became a process, and process has given rise to a governance system. And that is what let's say Vijay Kelkar committee is also trying to recommend, that we should have a PPP ecosystem. And in the end, what we have concluded also, governance, regulation, transparency, efficiency, accountability, that is how we need to focus on this. Does it have potential? So yes, it has potential. If we set up a robust system, it does have potential, but then potential is not something that it is static. It would have to be continuously also reformed, improved. The way it has improved from first phase of PPP to second phase, there should be further improvement. Hence, it can have capacity to deliver, overcome challenges. Although still, let's say that we need to bring other such mechanisms, let's say steps can be considered related to regulation, regulatory reforms are needed, governance reforms are needed, to manage and overcome challenges. So that way you should write on this.